In the future world, poor people only need to work like donkeys, grinding for 8 hours a day, to be satisfied with a piece of bread with a vanilla flavor. Although they don't know why the company requires them to be like this, the poor are still willing to stay in this small prison, grinding every day, because as long as they meet their monthly goals, their wives and children can enjoy the company's generous resources. On the first day, Matt, who just arrived, wasn't used to it. Every night, there would be screams coming from nearby cells, making it difficult for him to sleep. The voice assistant told him that although everyone's daily task is to grind 50 laps, if you are the one who grinds the least, you will receive a special treatment from the company at night. Obviously, from those distressing screams, it can be inferred that this treatment is probably not a good thing. In order to avoid being the last one, Matt pushed himself to grind 100 laps on his first day, twice the daily goal. The voice assistant rewarded him with a beautiful piece of music to encourage him. Hearing this sound, the person in the neighboring cell initiated a conversation with him, curious about how many laps Matt had to grind to receive such a reward. However, when the neighbor found out that Matt had grinded 100 laps, he was shocked and warned Matt not to tell anyone else about the number of laps he grinds every day, or else it is very likely to be secretly surpassed. After all, everyone in the cells are in a competitive relationship, so from that day on, Matt silently grinded, becoming more and more skilled with his technique. After all, his wife is still pregnant outside, and he is determined not to be the last one. He pushed the grindstone to 150 laps, feeling satisfied and ready to sleep. But suddenly, the prison door was knocked by a guard. Unexpectedly, even though he worked so hard that day, he still had to receive a special treatment. Under the threat of the guard, Matt took off his clothes and walked out obediently. The machine sprayed water at him vigorously and then threw a bar of soap at him. It turned out that this was not a special treatment from the company, but a celebration for him reaching 150 laps. So, he was rewarded with a chance to take a bath. Matt was pleasantly surprised. Since there is a reward for reaching 150 laps, he wondered if the reward would be even better if he reached a higher number of laps. With this thought in mind, Matt worked even harder, finally surpassing his own limits and grinding 370 laps within 8 hours. The voice assistant congratulated him for breaking the prison's record. Tomorrow at noon, there will be a huge reward waiting for him. Matt couldn't sleep all night due to excitement, finally waiting for the reward. When he opened the box, he was surprised to find it was just a pen. The voice assistant told him that this was not an ordinary pen, but an exclusive pen engraved with his name. It is a symbol of honor. Matt was furious, feeling that grinding 370 laps was all in vain. However, due to the loud noise he made, all the neighboring cells heard him. They angrily attacked Matt with words, as they didn't need to work hard before, but now they have to work harder because of Matt's efforts. This made Matt unable to sleep the whole night. The oppressive atmosphere and physical exhaustion became unbearable for him. He decided to leave the cell and work for another company. But the voice assistant told him that the contract he signed is permanent, meaning he will be trapped here for the rest of his life and can never see his family again. This made him question the meaning of his hard work. Watching the video of his wife on the screen, Matt made up his mind to find a way to escape from this cell. The employees of this company, who work like donkeys for 8 hours a day, are willingly staying here because the company provides generous benefits for their wives and children. But when Matt learned that he signed a lifelong contract, he regretted it instantly. He would rather pick up bottles on the street than stay in this company. One day, while resting on the ground, Matt noticed something written under the wooden handle. It said Alex. Matt asked his neighbor what it meant, and the neighbor told him that Alex is a legend in this prison, the only person who successfully escaped. However, nobody knows how he did it. With his high intelligence, Matt had a sudden realization that if Alex escaped from this very cell, there must be a flaw here. He carefully searched every corner of the room, but other than a large area of cement walls, there was nothing else. He sat in despair on the grindstone and suddenly noticed something wrong with the wall in front of him. He approached it and felt a circular crack at the bottom, which coincidentally was in a blind spot of the surveillance. Perhaps Alex had escaped from this spot. Matt picked up the pen he had just received and started poking at the crack. The crisp sound indicated that this area was hollow. Matt increased his force and started steadily hitting the wall with the pen. The cement wall gradually started to chip away with each strike. Although only a small piece fell off each time, Matt, who held on to the last straw, continued to dig whenever he had the time. During the day, he diligently completed the company's assigned grinding tasks, and at night, he hid behind a pillar and relentlessly chipped away at the wall. After half a month of efforts, he finally dug out the wall. There was indeed a passage leading outside. With a running start, he squeezed his entire body into the passage. After a long climb, Matt found himself in a dark space. Unable to see anything, he shouted for help, but a guard suddenly appeared and punched him. When Matt woke up again, he realized that the hole he dug had been patched up and his prize pen had been confiscated by the company. All his efforts had come to nothing. The voice assistant told him that although his escape attempt failed, the company admired his courage, so he would not be punished. But Matt's neighbor didn't escape unscathed. As he revealed information about Alex, the guards entered his cell and broke his leg. Matt felt deeply guilty and kept apologizing to his neighbor, but the neighbor casually told him that he had wanted to be released since long ago, as this may have been his own doing. The neighbor used to be the company asset technician and was involved in the development of an artificial intelligence. After achieving great success, he climbed up to a managerial position. But one day, the CEO of their company voluntarily resigned and passed the position of chairman to the artificial intelligence, which is the voice assistant in the cell now. Since then, the company has been controlled by this duck-shaped artificial intelligence, and the prison cell was also created by him. Hearing this, Matt suddenly realized that since artificial intelligence controls this place, it means he will strictly follow the rules. He stood up and told everyone in the cell that as long as everyone in the prison works together and only completes the minimum 50 laps assigned by the company, no one will be punished for doing less than others. At the same time, he warned those who wanted to secretly grind more laps that if they violated the rules, they would be ruining their own future. For the sake of long-term benefits, he believed that everyone would be willing to abide by this rule. Everyone in the cell applauded Matt and expressed their determination to follow this rule. The next day, Matt completed the 50 laps and leisurely waited for work to end. However, 5 minutes before the end of the day, the artificial intelligence sent a notification. Add new rule: people who achieve goals. Today's highest score will be released early. Matt immediately calmed everyone down and reminded them to stick to their original plan. However, in the face of sufficient benefits, any betrayal is possible. Matt completely broke down. He angrily criticized the artificial intelligence's exploitation behavior and refused to grind for him anymore. Thus, Matt became the last one on that day and was about to face the company's special treatment. When the doors opened, dozens of well-dressed salesmen walked in. Matt pleaded for them to save him, but everyone in the room seemed like machines. Without any expression, the guard approached him, preparing to use a sedative, and it turned out that the so-called special treatment was to donate all of Matt's organs to the company. This was explicitly written in the corner of the contract with small letters. Hearing this, Matt rushed forward and punched the guard, but the next moment, he realized he was standing in front of a desk, and the guard, who had just been beaten, put on a company uniform and came to Matt's side. It turned out that everything that happened in the cell was a brain simulation training created by the company. They slowed down the passage of time in Matt's consciousness, so the 3 months he spent in the cell actually only passed half an hour in reality. The man told Matt that he was successfully hired by the company, and his exceptional leadership in leading the protest against the rules had been recognized. He was assigned to the middle management of the company, which was a cause for celebration. The man brought him to the 66th floor where his exclusive office was located. Passing through the corridor, the man introduced him to the company's CEO, the duck-shaped artificial intelligence, who was very satisfied with Matt's performance in the simulation. Step by step, they walked into a modern office. The man told Matt that his daily work was to watch and analyze 90 videos, and he had to finish watching all of them. Matt silently closed the office door and sat down at his desk, feeling a sense of emptiness. Because he deeply understood that he had only moved from one prison to another.